What's up, Lakers Nation? It's your girl, Tammy Pettigrew. You've seen me on Infanity TV covering the Rams, but now I'll be here for the rest of the season covering the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm so grateful to be here. But before we get to business, we have to talk about what is happening in Los Angeles right now. The wildfires are still burning, and many people in the Lakers organization have been affected, including head coach JJ Redick. But there is other personnel on the team who have been affected too, like legal, videographers. So our heart does go out to the Lakers and the rest of the Los Angeles community. We hope that you all remain safe as the wildfires still rage on. And in partnership with the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank, the Lakers are currently gathering all types of non-perishable food items and things like deodorant, soap, toiletries for people who need them right now, especially in the Pasadena, Altadena, and Palisades areas. All right, today's game will be a special game. We will be inducting a Lakers Hall of Famer. He made the Hall of Fame in 2004, and here tonight he will be inducted. That is Michael Cooper, one of the best defensive players in Lakers history, 8-time All-Defensive Player, Defensive Player of the Year, and he will be honored tonight amongst all the other Lakers greats and have his jersey number 21 lifted into the rafters. Here's what he had to say at today's press conference.
You can clap. Thank you.
Clap, shout out, Coop. We're going to take questions. Raise your hand. I do want to point out one fact that really hasn't been written about much, but that of many accolades, Coop won in 1985-86 season the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award, and I think that's significant in what it stands for. With that, will Mike Trudeau, you want to lead us off?
Hey, Coop, congratulations.
Michael, you're looking a lot older.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's true. I am older. Coop, for so many years, we've heard a lot from your former teammates, Magic and Kareem and Worthy and Michael, kind of on your behalf, speaking about how great you were. Don't forget about Michael Cooper. How much has that meant to you over the years, and how much do you think about that on the night now that you're going to be honored here for the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, it meant a lot because that means I was doing my job on the court. You know, those are some great players in their own. For them to kind of single me out that I was equal to them was very gratifying. This is so overwhelming to me because I never expected this at all. I've always played this game for the love of the game and for team and winning championships. And so tonight is, to me, more special than the Hall of Fame, but both of them are equally important.
All right, on your left, Coop.
Coop, Dan Winky with the LA Times. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kind of along those lines, your game was for the betterment of others, the dirty work, different things like that. You played around massive stars, and you've been here to celebrate them. What's it like having them here for you, to celebrate the things that you did?
Well, that's what we've always been about. Lakers is always about a team, and I think our run through the 80s, all the players that I've had opportunity to play with have stayed connected. So for us, it's really special to have all the guys that come out and support, and anything that we all do, we all try to be there for one another. So that just exemplifies what we were practicing and preaching back then, is that teams win championships. And if you stay together, good things will happen for you.
Do you think it'll be strange to be the center of attention in that way?
Yeah, for this moment, but you know, my sticking point with the Lakers was always going to be my defense. And when I first joined this team, Jerry West told me, he said, Coop, I got Jamal Wilkes, Norm Nixon, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Not enough shots for you, so you got to play defense. And that's what I tried to do, and I did it to the best of my ability. And kind of became like the defensive captain of the team. So for me, holding other players accountable, as well as them holding me accountable on the offensive end, it made a great package that we had.
Dave on the right.
Coop, congratulations. Dave
Thank you,
Bennett
Dave.
with ESPN, of course. The fact that you guys as a group have now had that reunion in Hawaii, you guys obviously got together in Springfield to honor yourself. What about this honor at this stage of your life, having a chance to reflect on that Showtime era, has allowed you to appreciate it in a way that maybe you wouldn't have had this happened a decade prior?
Very much so, and I just, like I said, I've always tried to play the game the right way. And it's such a good feeling that people recognize that. Although I've always been on a team with a lot of mega stars, so sometimes I got overshadowed, but that didn't bother me because it was about the body of work that we were putting together and winning championships. So for my turn to come to the plate and step up here and be on the podium by myself with everybody looking is very, very good because, again, like I said, this came out of nowhere. And usually you had to have been top 10 scorer, you had to be a certain amount of all-star games, and for that never to happen for me and still be able to get this glamorous night, like I said, it's almost speechless. It's going to be very, very difficult to talk out there tonight because, again, I think the fans understood and felt who I was about, and I think they appreciated that, and I'm going to appreciate them tonight.
Right here on the left.
Coop, congratulations. Mark Medina, sports kid at Athlon Sports. In light of Larry Bird often saying that you were his toughest defensive defender, what were your favorite stories that came out of that matchup over the years?
I think just the old saying, and you've probably heard of this before, that iron sharpens iron. And I think the best story that came out of that is the Boston Celtics actually made us a better basketball team and made us better individuals for the matchups that we had to deal with. Mine was always Larry Bird. We had to take care of Dennis Johnson, Robert Parrish. So each one of us had to really stay focused. So to play the Celtics, and we understood in 1984 the way the game had to be played to be won, and then they come back the next year with that close line of Kurt Rambis, that set a whole new standard for us. So that really opened our eyes to it, and we were able to overcome and be the first team to win a championship against the Celtics, and that's the one we cherish the most. But yeah, Celtics were a team that, you had to put yourself on that level, and we finally achieved that, and it was very gratifying.
Right here on the right.
Edwin Garcia, Silver Screen and Roll. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
You've already mentioned it today. Basketball is such a team sport. It's everyone versus an individual, and taking that away for the betterment of the team. However, today is a celebration of yourself. I wanted to ask you, of all the big plays you had in your career, what's the one that best exemplifies who you were as a player?
I think Chick Hearn coined it the best. Before I came into the league, it was called the alley-oop. And when I came into the league, it turned into the Cooper loop. And that's probably the one play that really exemplifies or identifies me and separates me from the sky hook, the magic no-look passes. And that's one I'm very proud of because it's an offensive thing. But to keep that defensive mentality was really special to me. So those two would be it. But it was always about defense for me, for our team.
Front row on the white.
Kobe Price, SoCal News Group. First off, congratulations on the honor. Obviously, this has been in the works for a while now, but there's the recent tragedies with the fires. How's that, I guess, sat with you in terms of how you've been able to reflect on your own achievement, while also, you're a local kid, you grew up here, played here, coached here. How's that kind of sat with you as reflected on your own, I guess?
Well, it's been kind of a happy, sad moment for me because, again, the areas that were affected, I'm from Pasadena, Altadena, and a lot of the landmarks, a couple of middle schools that I went to, those are all gone now. So tonight, I'm going to enjoy it, but with a heavy heart, because so many people lost so many things that night. But again, it's a night to enjoy, and through tragedy, triumph comes sometimes. And triumph for me is having that jersey go up in the rafters, but still, again, mixed emotions with that. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
On the left, Jovan.
Congratulations, Coop, Jovan Buha with The Athletic. You've been a Laker and part of the Laker family for around 4 decades now. What has it meant to be a Laker through these past 4 years?
It means everything. The Lakers have almost taken over as your home blood family. And I've been with the Lakers for over 45 years. And as a player for 12, and then in the front office and moving around, coaching and different things like that. So it's really, really special. And, the one thing that we put together, and he just mentioned it a little while ago, was the reunion. Coach Riley, Magic, and Jeannie Buss got together and brought something very, very special that we're the only team to ever do that, to have 45 people, former players that have won a championship through our 12 years with the Los Angeles Lakers to come, and that shows you what it's about. Dr. Buss wanted the Lakers to be a family atmosphere, and that's what he developed. And not only the family includes the players, but it includes our fans. So for this to be happening, and again, to break a record for when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame, I had the most former teammates come. That was really special to me, and then we just continue to tribute, and we just gonna always support one another throughout this whole process.
All right, we got another one or two. Trudell again.
Coop, just the 5 championships. Every single one takes something different. How did you, throughout the course of your year, kind of gauge that? As all right, this year I need to focus a little bit more on this part of my game. This year the team needs this a little more. How did you find a way to be a key piece in all of that winning across all of the different seasons?
Well, that kind of developed from our coach, Pat Riley, would sit down with us at the end of the season and map out a little scope for us for what he wanted, he wanted us to accomplish as an individual. But then you realize what you had to do. And for me, it was be a little bit more offensive minded. For some people, it would be a little bit more in condition. So we always had that going, and I think we held each other accountable for that action. So every year, I tried to get better in something, be a better ball handler, be a better rebounder, and everybody took that to heart and worked on that and came back, and that's why every year, or every championship year, we were a different team enabling us to win it.
There was the game, what was it, game 2 where you hit the 5 threes in the finals? That of course.
6.
My bad, thank you. 6, a record for a long time, right? How about just that?
Well, Mike, really, it's still a record because when I was shooting it was a man shot, and now they done moved the 3-point in, but we won't go that far.
Touche. So you developed the shooting, Coop, and then at the same time, what do you feel like made you such an impactful defender? What were the things, the tenacity, the competitiveness? What were the things that allowed you to find the other guy on the team that you needed to try to shut down?
Well, what made me an impactful shooter was that they were backing off of me. And I remember playing Boston Celtics one time, and they put Larry on me because I was supposed to be the weakest offensive player. As soon as I touched the ball, he dropped 5 feet off, and he would say, "Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it." And I took that as a slap in the face, so I started hitting shots. So after I hit 3 or 4 shots, I said, "You better get your ass out here, because I'm hot." But being a defensive player defense wins championships, and when you through the Showtime era, a lot of people just see us as an offensive juggernaut. But we were a very, very good defensive team, and we made the commitment to come out. The uniqueness about the NBA is you don't have to shut everybody down. You have to shut that 1 or 2 players down. And I was able to contain Larry, myself, with James Worthy and Jamal Wilkes. And then we had to work on Robert Parrish. So what that required for us to take a lot of watching video, understanding, and that's where Pat Riley was so influential in our progression as a team defensively, because he would break down the videos, give it that, "Coop, I need you to watch this, but you can also do a little bit more."
Last question right here in the center.
Hi, Coop. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Swanson with the SoCal News Group. You mentioned that this honor means as much, if not more, than the Hall of Fame honor. And maybe that's self-explanatory, but I wonder if you would expound and tell us why.
Because it's Lakers. This is hometown. The Hall of Fame is something unique in itself, and again, it's a big cast of characters there. But this event here is about the people that you played with, you went to work with, you fought with, you prepared with, and you have love for. And I have love for all the people in the Hall of Fame, but this is a certain kind of love. And again, this one came out of nowhere. The Hall of Fame I had been hearing a little bit, if I got on the ballot, that may happen, and eventually you get on. And so I knew there was a good possibility somewhere down the road that I would make that, but this one here, so for some of the criteria that's set, as far as being an all-star at least once or twice and other things, and then for this to happen and me never accomplish being an all-star or a top 10, 15 scorer, this one is really, really special because it's about the people that loved us, enjoyed us, and cheered for us.
All right, thanks, Coop, a lot. You've got
Thank you, everyone.
A few more stops on your tour before other things start, and those who want to speak to JJ, he'll be here in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Hearing Michael Cooper say that being inducted into the Lakers Hall of Fame is more special than the regular Hall of Fame was really cool to hear, to learn about how much the Lakers family is a community and a family, and to have all of his former teammates that will be here tonight supporting him is beautiful, and I cannot wait for the extended halftime presentation today. We also had the chance to listen to what JJ Redick had to say before the game, and here's a little peek.
JJ, you spoke so eloquently the other day about everything around here. And one of the things that you said was, you were looking forward to getting back to basketball, and in some part for yourselves and some part for the fans. How do you kind of go through that transition as a coach, as a leader of the players, from everything that's gone on now to being about ready to start a game?
Yeah, I look at it. I think a group functions best when you draw strength from each other, and the way my players, my staff, the organization has supported, rallied around me, rallied around the city, clearly, loved on my family. There's real strength in that, and that's the sort of receiving of strength. Then it's our job to go give strength and give hope and give joy. And sports are a lot of things, and sports can certainly provide an escape and a distraction, and hopefully sports and tonight can provide some joy as well.
JJ, can you give us a sense of how, as a coach, you managed the last few days of uncertainty in terms of when games would resume, and kind of how you approach practice and time with your team?
Yeah, just trying to be really efficient with their time because of everything happening. I shared with you guys, we had a few players that were under evacuation orders. We had one player who couldn't participate on Saturday. I don't even know what day. Today's Monday, right? Yeah, on Saturday, 2 days ago, because of the fire moving in towards Encino and the valley. So he had some issues just with kind of a bottleneck, and the strategy was stay sharp, stay conditioned, and be together and have the right spirit. And truthfully, I think it was our best 3 days in the gym, non-games of course, but our best 3 days in the gym since the first 3 days of training camp. It was the right spirit. We got a lot done, and the guys were super connected.
And the Lakers are dedicating this game to the LA community. Just what does that mean to you as the coach of this team tonight, and certainly someone who's been affected by the same thing as so many people in the community have?
Yeah, I look at it. I'm not great with big words. I think symbiosis or symbiotic, something like that. There's sports really work well when the team, the organization has a connection to the city, and the fans feel a connection to the team, and then it just flows in some sort of eternal circle of that. The Lakers have that with the city of Los Angeles, and having played here before and lived here, I'm well aware of that relationship. And part of the reason I wanted to coach here was to participate in that. And like I said the other day, we're managing and we're going through it, and we're going to have good days and bad days as a family, but we're going to be fine. My focus and Chelsea's focus over the last few days has been trying to figure out where we can give that strength back, and obviously the Lakers are doing that as well. Really grateful for all the first responders, particularly the firefighters that put their lives on the line over the last week, and we're. Again, I don't want to get political on this, but we're really facing an uphill battle with both the weather and the resources available.
Two questions, one basketball, one life, I guess. Basketball-wise, Vando was able to practice with the G League. How is his recovery going, and is he trending? I think you used the word, might have been immediate or imminent. I'm sorry.
Imminent. Yeah.
Imminent. How imminent is imminent, I guess, for him?
Yeah, there's still a few progressions to ultimately return to an NBA game. He had an off day yesterday. Today was a lighter day. And then we're going to ramp him back up. And that's difficult right now with the G League traveling for, I think they're gone for 4 or 5 days. And then our guys are going to play every other day, so we're not going to have any live action in practice. So it'll be a little bit of a mixed bag over the next week with live play against coaches, live play with coaches, try to mix in a little bit with the Stay Ready group. But we'll get enough exposure to live simulation, and hopefully, he's back soon. Again, it's close, but it's not going to be this week.
Yeah. A lot of people heard what you said on whatever day that was, Friday, I think. What was the response like for you? Did you hear from anybody or have any really meaningful conversations in the aftermath of that you'll carry with you?
A lot. Again, I've been overwhelmed. I'm going to coach a fucking game tonight, all right? Sorry. Don't put me in these situations, Dan. I've been overwhelmed with the amount of support and love and generosity that people have shown to my family, and really all families that have been affected by this. We've witnessed it. We've been a part of it. My wife, she posted something on Instagram this morning on her private account, and it was beautifully written, and it really just captured kind of what we're feeling and what a lot of families across LA are feeling right now. I think a number of people that I know sent me a comment or sent me a link and said, "Good on you," or whatever. The thing that I think was meaningful to me were the people that live in the Palisades, and reached out and just said, "Hey, thanks for articulating what makes this place so magical."
JJ, because of the postponements, it's been 6 days since you guys last played a game. Obviously, those were the 2 losses in the Texas Strip. How does, the layoff and gameplay affect, maybe how you evaluate the team in terms of just getting back on,
Yeah.
in consideration also everything that's gone on the past 6 days?
Yeah, you probably expect couple ball control turnovers. I think the sharpness is probably the biggest thing. We played enough of the season, almost half, that in terms of getting into a flow offensively, our talk defensively, I think all that stuff will be there. It just might be some sharpness stuff that is lacking. I will say we really put an emphasis on, without killing the guys, our conditioning and taking a ton of shots, threes in particular, launch. And, I think we'll shoot it well tonight, and I think we'll move well.
JJ, 1, is there any update on Christian?
No.
No? Okay. And then 2, you said that the last 3 days you felt were the best since the first 3 days of training camp. What stood out, and have you seen this group maybe come closer together throughout this past week?
Yeah, I mean, I said it probably, I know I said it before the Texas trip. I know I said it at some point during the Texas trip, and that I liked our group in terms of how close we were and how connected we were. Given the circumstances of the week, you're probably in 99 out of 100 scenarios going to come up with 1 or 2 outcomes out of that. You're going to be disconnected, or you're going to be even more connected. And I would say our group has become even more connected. What stood out, I think it's just the energy, the efficiency of time, the effort. I just asked them every day. I said, we all have other stuff going on. Just give me your best today. And they responded. They gave me their best. We had 3 great days of work. And hopefully there's a carryover to tonight's game.
Hey, JJ, what have you seen from LeBron as a leader of this group during the past challenges of this week?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the more vocal guys. I thought, Rob and I intentionally just, at the beginning of each day, addressed the group. We both spoke. Rob obviously providing updates from the league and updates on what was happening within Greater Los Angeles. And then we gave opportunities for the players to talk as well. And obviously, LeBron stepped up and, along with a couple other guys and the coaches, we're trying to galvanize the group. So LeBron's always there to do that.
JJ, with Finney Smith now in and Shake, that's a new thing, but how have you felt like you've been able to put more of just the general stuff in on either side of the ball, and even if it's not, it's been a tough, busy week. Have you been able to make any progress to where you want to get to ultimately with what you're looking for on both ends?
Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm them though. We were able to do some script. Bob Beyer and Greg and our coaches, did a number of shell drills, going over our principles and getting reps against coaches with that stuff. So both those guys should be really familiar with what we're trying to do. Continuing, through the script and through our verbal communication over the last 3 days, they should be getting a familiar level as well with our terminology. So I feel comfortable with where those guys are at right now.
Coach, the Spurs are an up-and-coming team in the West. What's impressed you most about this current iteration of San Antonio Spurs?
Yeah, I think it's a nice balance of young players and vets. Wemby certainly stands out the most. He's a special talent and a special human, and does a number of things really well on both sides of the ball, to the point where a lot of your game plan is based on him. And that's not to say the other guys aren't great players, but he's a unique talent. And I think, adding Harrison, adding CP, along with drafting, Castle, I think their team's a really good team, and they're certainly much better than they were last year.
Coach, you just walked in from one of the donation drop-off spots outside. 12 teams coming together to help the city. You've helped individually from what we understand. What's your take on how we've sort of responded to this situation, especially when it comes to those 12 teams, including the Lakers?
Yeah, I'm awfully proud to be a part of the Lakers organization and our response. And I shared with you guys the other day, there's a number of people in our organization, our council, our videographer, who have been affected by this. I think, I can speak from, sort of my personal experience over the last 20 years, and certainly the last 17 or 18 being with Chelsea. We always want to help when things like this happen, and we've always tried to do our best. Being with an organization and in a city with a number of professional franchises that also want to do that, it makes you feel proud to be with the Lakers.
Now, Lakers fans, you still have time to vote in your favorite players for the 2025 NBA All-Star Game. You have about a week left to get your votes in. You definitely want to see some of your favorite Lakers players there. I know I've been doing my voting at home, but please do not forget to vote in your Lakers. We are finally back to resume home games here at Crypto.com Arena, but if you did have tickets for the previous games that were postponed, make sure you keep those tickets. They will be honored whenever the games are rescheduled, and that's against the Charlotte Hornets and the other game against the San Antonio Spurs, who we play tonight. We've got Wemby up against LeBron James and the rest of the team. How will we fare out? We know that the Spurs are an up-and-coming team. They have some young players. They have some veterans. So we'll see what happens tonight. Right now, I think the Lakers will win. They're sitting really, really pretty in their division right now and have a good position in the conference, sitting at number 6. So we'll see what happens tonight. That's all I have for you right now. I'll be back after the game. Enjoy the show, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. And that's a wrap on the game. Unfortunately, the Lakers were unable to pull out a win. They did go into the third quarter tied, but defensively, fourth quarter was just not their game. And also, how do you guard Wemby, as well as a Hall of Fame point guard in Chris Paul? They made a great duo. The Lakers definitely have to do some restructuring for the next game. This is the third loss in a row. But again, the organization is going through a lot right now with the fires happening in LA. JJ Redick is clearly going through a lot. Check him out at the presser.
Mike.
JJ, you go into halftime up 9. What did you see shift in the second half?
Yeah, they called a timeout. We were up 10, tied going into the fourth. You can point to the 13 points in the fourth quarter, but it was just, we gave up 73 points in the second half. Had 9 turnovers in both halves. Frankly, we should have had 70 in the first half offensively, and just couldn't keep the ball in front of us.
Specifically with the defense, you just mentioned not keeping it in front, but yeah, they did get to the rim a lot.
Yeah.
Where do you see the
overarching? Yeah, it's so Wemby being on the court, you have to kind of decide how you want to play coverage, whether you want to red. So if he's away from the basket and you're in coverage, let's say, in theory, the 5 would be away from the rim. If you red and he rolls, the 5's away from the rim. We just, the point of attack was not good tonight, and I'll have to look at the film. I turned to Ty, who had the scout today, and I just was like, man, feels like there's no one in the paint for us. It's just very, and that's what I saw in real time, and obviously I have to look at the tape, but just everything was at the rim. 66 points in the paint. I mean, it's tough.
JJ, it's obviously been a very difficult week for the group. What's the balance, in your opinion, in terms of giving grace given the circumstances versus viewing things objectively?
Yeah, I think I always try to give grace to myself, the staff, our players. Doesn't mean you don't critique, and it doesn't mean you don't tell the truth. And we've had, for 3 games now, a real slippage defensively. And we were, for whatever it was, 12, 13 games, a top 10 defense, trending in that direction until these last 3 games. So, we'll review this game. There's obviously some stuff from Dallas and Houston that probably is pertinent to this game as well. And as much as we'll prep Wednesday for Miami in the morning, we'll focus on the group and where we can improve defensively. And that's both film and on the court.
When looking at ways the layoff could affect your group, when we spoke pregame, you mentioned that turnovers was something that could pop up. I imagine you also expressed it to your team going into it. What nature did you see the turnovers, or how were they coming up to affect you tonight?
Some of them that I just remember off the top of my head were, I would describe as careless, and then the other ones, and the ones that, I don't know, just, we talked about personnel awareness as a big key for tonight. Throwing passes in tight spaces when Wemby's around is just not a good idea.
JJ mentioned the defensive slippage. It felt like when their guys were able to get just a little bit downhill, they used their physicality to basically push guys out of the way. How did that kind of look to you? And
there's a lot.
What needs to happen to sort of counteract?
Well, there were a lot, particularly in the second half, of middle drives, whether that was after a red or after a closeout, and there's some teams that are okay with the ball going middle. We're not a let the ball go middle team, and again, I didn't feel like we really had a low man presence. I think Mitch and his staff did a good job based on the last game where we were Redding, and they really tried to take advantage of that with pulling our low man in when we did pull in. If Wemby was in the paint, and they just skip it to the corner, and then you're either giving up a three or we just weren't good in our closeouts tonight.
Was it similar to the way that Dallas attacked you? Do you feel like?
No. I mean, Dallas was just straight target hunting, and ISO. This was a little more movement, and Vassell and Castle in particular, I don't even know what they ended up with, but those two guys just killed us.
JJ, after the game, it looked like Wembanyama and Chris Paul walked over and had a moment with your kids. Just as a father, given this time, what did that mean to you that they took the time to do that?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is like a brother to me. It's funny, we were talking yesterday about our inner circles, and within the NBA, people you've worked with or people you know, people you have a relationship with, coaches, teammates, equipment managers, PR staff, whatever it may be. And in the league long enough, you have this big circle, and it's people you like, people you love, and then it's your brothers. And Chris is in that inner circle of brothers. He called me this afternoon and said, Vic and I are going to go, whether you win or we win, we're going to go over and give the boys jerseys. He's well aware that, they're huge NBA fans, all their basketball cards. That I ran a podcast out of my home for 2 years, and all the players would come through and they'd get their either a jersey or a card signed, and they had a collection of jerseys and cards, and they lost all that. So it was nice of them to do it. They now each have two, because Austin was nice enough to leave a couple for him in his locker after practice the other day. So I appreciate all the love, and not surprised Chris did something like that.
Thanks, Coach.
And here's a few words from the players from tonight's game as well.
Rui, the Spurs were getting to the rim pretty frequently throughout the night, but especially in the second half. What did you see on the defensive side of the court, especially late?
Our defense was 1-5, and when we get switched up, somebody posted our smaller guys, and they're whiting and all that. We had to have a low man, and of course, Chris Paul. He's one of the greatest point guard ever played. Whatever. He knows. He always looking at the other side, and he was just skipping the balls. So it was hard for everybody to kind of close out and make a play. But it was a whole thing that we planned. So it's we gotta and we couldn't, of course, when we do 1-5, AD gonna be on the top, so we didn't really have a low man protect anybody that protecting the rim. So yeah, it was tough for us. We had to be more physical, and yeah, everybody gotta have a mentality of protecting the rim.
Can you just talk about what these past few days has been? I mean, obviously there's been so much happening away from the court. How were you able to kind of say, hey, we have a game? What have these last few days been like?
Oh, it's been tough, of course. We kind of, every day is literally have a different schedule, different news, different, everything's just really depends on this fire thing. And we don't know our schedule for next day. We we are kind of worried about our houses and all that, and a couple of the, some of the teammates, my teammates, had to evacuate the house and all that. So it's been a lot, but it is what it is. We have to kind of, we talk about we have to kind of switch our gear. We can't be sorry for this. We just gotta lock in. I think it's a lot of distraction right now, a lot of things going on, but we just gotta focus on ourselves, and we just gotta get back to our track.
Rui, there's been a few days obviously in between games, but the Lakers are currently now on a 3-game losing streak. What do you think has to happen to kind of adjust that?
I think, play harder. We gotta play for each other. I think this past 3 games, like you said, we kind of we kind of relied on our individual skills and all that. So we just gotta start playing together again. What we had in December, and get back on our track. We just got it's both hands. Offensively, defensively. We know playing for each other right now. So we gotta kind of we gotta stick together, and we get back on the track.
This past week on FanDuel Run It Back, Boogie Cousins said that Wemby had a chance to be the best defensive player ever, like as far as his ceiling in his career. For you as a player, what's it like just going against him defensively? What kind of challenges does he present kind of throughout the course of a game?
Yeah, he can be. We talk about he can be in the. You talk about Wemby, right? Yeah, he can be. He can be in the both. Both sides. Like he can of course. Protect the rim, but at the same time he can protect the. He can contest the 3 too. So he can be in both sides. So it's hard for us to kind of read it. Because we never had a player like that. He's a new generation. So yes, of course. Just him being there just distract a lot of our offense, and it's hard for us to kind of read it sometimes, even though he's not even there close to it. I feel like he's gonna be coming from somewhere. So of course that's just a present. Just him being on the court. As us against him is just he's for sure one of the best defender. Yeah.
Hey, Dorian, what did you notice in the second half defensively, especially in kind of with San Antonio getting to the rim? What shifted from the first half when you guys had the game a little bit more under control before they made that push?
They made adjustments. They seen we were switching, so it seemed like they, once we got AD on the perimeter, they started attacking. Started attacking the basket, and it worked out well.
In those switching groups, what are the keys for, I suppose, a wing or like yourself that's got multiple different responsibilities, and what are the things that are supposed to happen that maybe didn't as much?
Well, CP's a Hall of Fame point guard, so he just started manipulating the game. He started trying to put different matchups on bigger guys, and it would either cause us to overreact and they get a corner 3, or even if they missed a shot, they was getting the offensive rebound. But we got to come out better second half, fight a little bit more.
Dorian, obviously you weren't with the team all that long prior to this layoff from the Fires. JJ mentioned that he thought it was a time that the team felt connected. What was it like for you to kind of have this time with this new group?
It's been a crazy 2 weeks since I've been in LA, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just with everything that's going on. Being in a hotel, so seeing all these families who also there. So it's it's been eye-opening, definitely eye-opening, because I'm not from no Fires or anything like that. So just them, telling me about what's going on, and it happens all the time, but not like not like this. So it was. It was tough. A bunch of families in there. But as far as practice, it was a chance for us to practice. That was the first time I practiced with guys, so we definitely got better. We didn't execute the game plan like like we were supposed to, but coaches gave us, they gave us the right answers to the test. We just ain't used to study guide.
Sorry. Dorian, today on FanDuel running back Lou Williams, who used to play for the Lakers a couple years ago, said that basketball really brings LA together. In the midst of a bunch of things that are going on right now. So for you as a player, what was it like just playing in the game tonight? Obviously, amidst everything that's going on with the Fires.
No, it was amazing, man. The fans was amazing. That second half, it was tough because you could tell they wanted to get into the game, but obviously things weren't going our way. But usually the game of basketball brings people together. Takes your minds off of all the things that's going around, and you can celebrate your team or the city you from. So playing tonight, I felt as a team we felt like it was gonna do that, and unfortunately we didn't get the win, but we still got people a chance to escape reality for a little bit and root for their team.
Dorian, with this defeat, the Lakers are on a 3-game losing streak. Obviously, you're newer here, so it might be tough to kind of answer this question, but what do you think the team has to do from the moments you've been here to kind of reset things and get back to winning ways?
Yeah, stick together. Long season, man. It's a real long season. All it takes is one good win to turn this thing around, and that's usually how it goes. First of all, we gotta be better defensively. Shots gonna go in. We put in the work as a team. They're gonna fall. So all we gotta do is focus on that end of the ball. I feel like we definitely these last couple games we kind of took steps back defensively since I've been here, and we gotta fix it.
Thanks, Dorian.
Yep.
And that's a wrap for me, folks. Tonight, we have another home game Wednesday. Remember, if you are coming to the Lakers game, please bring your non-perishable items as well as unopened toiletries for people who are in LA and need these items while they go through the transition from the Fires. That's all I have for you tonight. My name is Tammy Pettigrew, your host, and I'll see you next time.